Nightly greetings, one and all. William Theo here, homegrown, and happy to bring you the major events unfolding here at home and elsewhere across the planet within the latest 24-hour news cycle. And tonight we kick off local news at the top, and the Philippine government, the Department of Finance in particular, in partnering with one of the most powerful business or trading blocs on the planet, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC. Last year, the OPEC bestowed the Philippine government with a $500,000 grant to jumpstart government's e-voucher food program dubbed Walang Gutom 2027, which the DSWD hooked up with the World Food Program and the Asian Development Bank for a comprehensive anti-hunger crusade. This year, the OPEC is once again joining the fray to provide financing and technical know-how in solving right-of-way issues plaguing big-ticket infrastructure projects. In addition, the cartel has expressed great interest in bankrolling a public financial management system aimed at expediting climate finance by way of private-public tie-ups and improving climate resilience and readiness among local government units. It is Africa's most populous country. It also has the unenviable tag as having one of the most corrupt governments in the continent. To quell the rising tide of militancy against the national government, Nigeria's national government is recruiting the state police in its campaign to quell militancy. VOA's Timothy Obiezu tells us more in this report.
On the evening of October the 14th last year, Nigerian student Latifa Ibrahim, whose name we have changed to protect her identity, was on her way back to her off-campus lodge when 5 armed men abducted her along with 2 of her classmates in northern Nigeria's Gandu community. She says she could hear the struggles and screams of her friends as they were apparently raped by the kidnappers.
They actually did it in front of us, though our faces were covered. We were beaten there and were not treated nicely.
She says she was lucky to be spared by the rapists. The incident was reported to the police and school authorities. The trio were released 4 days later after their families separately paid ransoms. Ibrahim's family paid 5 million naira, or about $3,400, to the abductors for her release.
My families were stressed and worried, like it wasn't easy, especially my mom. She was so stressed.
Kidnapping for ransom is one of the major insecurities bedeviling Africa's most populous country amid the worsening economic crisis. Nigeria's inflation in February surpassed 31%, its highest level in 3 decades. Analysts say hostage taken by bandits is money-driven and that victims are mostly released once a ransom is paid. The Nigerian risk consulting firm SBM Intelligence said it has recorded 4,700 cases of abductions, mainly by militants and armed bandits, since President Bola Tinubu took office last May. Thousands more have been displaced from their homes by the violence. Nigerian security forces are also struggling to control a 14-year-long insurgency by the Boko Haram and the Islamic State West Africa province extremist groups, deadly communal clashes as well as separatist violence. To address the problem, Nigerian authorities agreed in February to set up state police units to bolster the national police force. Each Nigerian state would be empowered by law to coordinate and manage the force if the law is passed. The new legislation has yet to be approved by the Senate. Ordinary Nigerians say it is a good decision if properly managed.
The people who constitute the police force are members, they are the local people of that area. They understand the nook and crannies of these places, and they will be able to tackle insecurity issues better than foreigners, strangers who are posted to the state as policemen.
They will pick people from that area. Anything that comes around that place, we know ourselves, it will reduce a lot of things. But the good thing, the worst thing will be that the politicians will hijack it, for intimidation.
The Nigerian police force has the worst rating among 11 public institutions surveyed last year by the Afrobarometer, a pan-African research network. Allegations of brutality, extortion, and torture are frequently leveled against officers, a charge often contested by the police. However, police authorities often promise to investigate allegations and hold errant officers accountable. Security analyst Kabiru Adamu says the focus should be on accountability.
What we need more than anything is accountability. If we don't have accountability in governance, then we can't even go ahead to start creating policing.
Police in Nigeria are under scrutiny in light of the October 2020 nationwide protests against police brutality and calls for reforms. Analysts also say funding might be another challenge facing efforts to establish state police. However, the Nigerian parliament says it is reviewing opinions from civil society groups and citizens before passing a law that establishes state police. Timothy Obiezu, VOA News, Abuja, Nigeria.
At least 7 heads of African states or nations are expected to go and huddle with business executives and officials from the Trade Department when the Africa Business Summit kicks off today. This 4-day conference is expected to deepen bilateral relations between the United States and the countries represented, with a number of deals to be sealed before the conference closes on Thursday. VOA's Peter Claudy tells us more on this confab that ends Thursday this week.
The U.S. Africa Business Summit, which CCA puts on every year, each one is unique in a different way. It is, I think, amongst all the business associations, we're the only one that's solely focused on Africa. And each summit brings together leaders from both the government and the private sector in both U.S. and Africa. So every year we have a somewhat different mix of people who come, though consistently we're getting kind of the highest levels of representation from the African side. We'll have African heads of state. We'll have ministers from across the continent who are responsible for trade or health or ICT. And we'll get top people and officials from the administration who are at, the U.S. Export-Import Bank, Millennium Challenge Corporation, State Department, Commerce Department, Office of the U.S. Trade Representative, the U.S. Development Finance Corporation, U.S. TDA.
What do you think will be the major takeaways for them during the summit?
It's the engagement, because where is there an opportunity for African heads of state and top officials from the U.S. to meet with CEOs of both U.S. and African companies, C-suite executives who are doing business in Africa or who would like to do business in Africa? When would you have the opportunity to talk to people about major issues like energy transition and critical minerals and agribusiness and ICT and digital developments on the continent? And so, one could say one of the main takeaways is the dialogue, just the fact that you'll have a session that will have, we have high-level dialogues in different areas. So my expectations are high, of course. So first of all, I am looking forward to welcoming to Dallas, along with the Dallas Summit Committee, Welcome Committee, these heads of state that are coming. And so, all across the USG. And I think the thing that I'm most excited about is being able to say at the end of the 3 days that we had some of the best discussions and dialogues and created the best platform possible for those who really have an interest and a stake in Africa.
At this juncture, we head to our PTV Pine City studios for the latest developments brewing in the Cordilleras. Ada?
Naimbag Arabi, Pilipinas, inaklon ti DOH na babati tuberculosis screening contesting rate iti Cordillera. Manipod iti agarog 1.86 million a projected population ti Cordillera Region itatuan. Punteriya ti gobyerno amay pasidong iti tuberculosis screening ti nasarog 56,000 Cordillerans. Nupay kasta, iti kaudyan a datos ti Department of Health nasarog lang iti 4,307.58% ti pasidong iti TB screening. Iti nasarog 21,000 na punteriya amay pasidong iti TB testing, 27.36%, wenno nasarog 5,800 laeng tinatest. Saan met naragpati 90% at treatment success rate para kadagiti Cordillerans nga addaan iti TB.
Kaya mahalaga po na malaman ng pasyente na may TB kung mayroon din siyang infection ng HIV, nang sa ganun ay makuha ng mabilis at tamang gamutan at maiwasan na iba pang maaring maging komplikasyon.
Iti dadumapay adamag impatalga ti pag-asa saan ng matupay ti temperatura ti Baguio City karagiti masungad nga aldaw ngam kitdi mapaspasaranan ti isolated thunderstorms. Dumanon lang iti 28.6 degrees Celsius ti kangatuan at temperatura anilista iti syudad ita atawan. Segundo iti pag-asa saan ang umato daytoy gaputan at datayon iti El Nino Southern Oscillation wenno Enso neutral. Gaputi daytoy manamnama dagiti isolated thunderstorms ken scattered rain showers nang runa iti malam. Kabiyatan na imbinglay ni Engineer Larry Esperanza nga iti agdama at dati 62% a posibilidad akalpasan iti El Nino La Niña met ti sumukat. Manamnama amang itunda dayto iti nakaro a panawon ti panagtudo amang rugi intun Hunyo, Hulyo wenno Agosto.
Ang epekto nito or yung impact yung maraming pag-ulan so ito kakibat nito ang impact nito yung flooding or mga flash flood so kapag may mga flash flood may mga landslide tayong mararanasan especially dito sa ating area ating Cordillera because we are in a mountainous area
Dagiti damdamag manipod dito yung PTV Cordillera siya ni Ala Sunduan na imbag arabiin.
Thank you, Ala, and that is a wrap for tonight. We hope you came out a tad more informed, and we look forward to another set of news to share same time, same location on your remote or browser. And always keep in mind to aim high, always work hard, give thanks, and stay connected while you catch the news right here. William Theo wishing you all a restful evening.